So tonight what I have planned, I'm going to go over to the Serger and I'm going to set it up and we're going to see what different threads and different weights look like to use as a decorative effect. For instance, I have threads over there ranging from 30 weight all the way down to 12 weight thread. Oh no, I have some 8 weight over there too. In our Serger loopers, that's where we get to put these heavy threads for decorative effects, for decorative piecing, for edge finishing, all that fun stuff. And that's what we're going to do tonight. So anyway, that being said, I'm gonna swap the camera over to the Triumph. I had to think about that. And we're gonna get started and explore a few different of my favorite threads anyway. Okay, I'm gonna swap that camera. And my Triumph just had a beautiful spa day. And she is shiny and bright and new and glorious looking. Now I'm gonna mess her all back up again. So, okay. So the first thing I gotta do, and I'm just gonna use a 4-thread overlock. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just gonna put in some black thread. It really doesn't matter because we're just testing out what different threads would look like and not necessarily something I'm actually going to use. So I have a lot of this open. This is what I'm going to use. That's going to be my overlock needle 1. Just going to go ahead and set it up for threading. That's opened. I'm going to do my 01 needle first. Raise that presser foot. We're going to get this puppy all nice and threaded. Okay, I'm just going to take my foot off so it's out of my way. You don't have to do that, but I have big fingers and it just makes it easier for me. So, there's my 01. Probably should put my glasses on. There it is. Okay. And I just have my regular foot on, the one that came with my machine. Okay, there's the 01. Now we're gonna do the 02 needle. And here we go through our thread path for the 02. And my needles are now threaded. Okay. Straighten my chair up a little bit. There we go. Now then, let's see. I'm going to put black thread in my lower looper. So I'm going to use my decorative threads on the upper looper just so we can see what they look like. Okay. Here's black for the lower looper. This is just regular Serger thread I'm using right now. And let's give it a little more slack. And a little more. There we go. I saw it then. I won't put my glasses on, they're not over here. And a little bit more. I thought I had enough thread out. I must not have. Let's just give that another go. There we go. Now I'm going to set up my upper looper threading post. I'm going to take that off and replace it with this, because whenever we use a spool of thread on there, or a cone like this that does not fit all the way down, well, that one happens too. But anyway, the first thing I'm going to try, we're going to play with, is called So Sassy. It's a superior thread. It is a 12 weight 3-ply, nice and thick. Comes in about 50 different colors. 100 yards is on a cone, and they're only, I think they're $4.99 or $3.99, somewhere in there. But it makes a beautiful, heavy, decorative stitch that you're about to see. This is going to go through the upper looper. And we'll get that one going. And there it is. Some 12 weight threads will go, sometimes you have to use the bypass threading. I'm sure at least one that we're going to play with tonight will have to do that. And I'll explain that when we get to it. So what I'm doing is just a regular overlock. I'm going to put my cutting blade at its widest level, 7.5. And I'm going to start off with my stitch length at 2. Because when you're doing decorative embellishment on your serger, sometimes you want the thread to like fully cover the stitch length, because you're actually covering up a raw edge. Now, what I have here, this is just something I've been testing tension on my long arm. This is just leftover quilt backing that I sandwiched just to test out stitching on the long arm with. But I save these. These are great to experiment with for a stitch out like this. So what I'm first going to do, I'm actually going to run the raw edge right along the edge of my serger table right here and use that as a guide. Okay, I got to take my shoes off. Y'all know how I am about that. I have to be barefoot to sew. And we're just going to go start slow till it gets in the fabric. And the reason I wanted contrasting thread was so I can actually see it when I take this off the machine. Now I could put both heavyweight threads in the loopers if I wanted to, and sometimes I do that, especially if I'm going to edge finish a quilt. But sometimes when you're just doing a decorative element, you only need that decorative thread in the upper looper. Okay, there's that one. Here we go. So that's the back of it, right there. And there's the front of it. That looks pretty good at 2. However, I think I would actually, let me turn that little light on the camera. I think I would actually set that one down to maybe 1.5 so it gets a fuller cover. And that's what we're going to do next. So I'm going to turn this a couple of clicks down to 1.5. And I'm just going to sew it down this way and trim part of it so I have more than one piece. Okay, here we go. Oh, much better coverage. And it was doing well until I broke the lower looper thread. But enough so that we can actually see the difference here. Let's see here. And there is a minute difference. So you can see right here, that's 1.5, that is 2. There's not a huge difference. That still looks good. I'll just snip those out right there. Those will go into my little treasure bin of all my little thread trimmings that I save. Here we go. There. Okay. Now let me rethread my lower looper, and I'm going to change out the upper thread this time. So that's a good baseline, 1.5 for that 12 weight thread. So I'm just going to pull this out. We're going to run that lower looper through there again. There we go. Alrighty, now I'm just going to snip my upper looper right there and then pull this out. That way I'm not wasting that heavier thread. And then I'm just going to, I'd have to get the rest of the orange thread out of my looper, my air loopers tubes. So I'm just going to run it until there's no more orange coming out. There we go. Okay. Now I can add my new upper looper thread. There we go. Okay. So next we're going to do, we did that one. This is a pretty thread. This is by Wonderfill. It's a 12 weight Rayon metallic. See how that looks? Beautiful thread. We're going to do this one next, and I think that will actually fit on there. Yes, it does. We're just going to run this through our upper looper. Pulled it right out of my hand, everybody. There we go. And it went all the way through that upper looper. Woohoo. Okay. So next we are going to do, we're going to shut our doors. Go back to Serger. And I'm going to trim off what I just did right here. Make sure I got all my thread tails managed. There we go. Okay. So next I'm going to take the smaller, since I got some of it trimmed off, now I can take smaller runs. Okay, so this is 12 weight Wonderfill Glamour 12 weight Rayon metallic. I'm going to set that back up to 2. That's what I did. Oh, that's pretty. That's really pretty. Check that one out. Now I have the stitch length at 2 on that. That's very, very attractive. Okay. So that's a cool one. I like that one. I like that one a lot. So now we're going to swap that upper thread again. And I'll take these back with me to the other camera after we get done playing with all these, and you can ask questions about them and all that fun stuff. So I'm going to do this. Raise the foot. Just work the rest of that glamour out of there this way this time. Almost. Who am I kidding? I'm going to do it this way. It's faster. There we go. Okay. Now I can pull this one off. And on this cone, there are 300 meters. So that'd be 300 yards. Okay. There's that one. Okay, so next we are going to do, this is a nice one here. This is Wonderful Dazzle, okay? This is more like an 8-weight thread, right here. I hear thunder outside. We're going to put this in our upper looper. Got that up. This is probably the one I will have to use a threading cradle for, but we'll see. You never know until you try. Okay. It wanted to. Nope. So a threading cradle is where you take off like a yard of serger thread, fold it in half, put the two cut ends through first so you have a loop to stick your heavy decorative thread into. And that's what we're going to do here. Okay. You want to make sure you hold on to the end of that thread though, or it will blow it all the way out the other side. Ask me how. I know. I've done it. Okay. I only see one. There should be two. Hold on there. There we go. I think that's both of them. It is. Oh, I see where you went. You went under there, didn't you? Yep, when in doubt, use the tweezies. That's what they're for. There you are, right there. Okay. Now I can stick in the end of my dazzle thread. This is a Wonderful thread as well. Pull it right on through those threading ports. There we go. Easy peasy. Okay. Now I'll put my foot back on. Okay. And then we're going to see what this looks like. I'm going to leave the stitch length just as I've been doing. Okay. Trim off my thread ends before I get some more on there. Okie dokie. And that's really close together. We need to go down to about 1.5 on that one. That's better. If you remember from several weeks ago, this is the thread I made Serger cording and Serger chains out of to use as a decorative element, was this particular blue dazzle thread. Oh, that's really nice. Check that out. That's at number 2 at 1.5 stitch length. And that thread is called Wonderfill Dazzle, 200 yards on a cone of that. Okay, 200 yards on a cone. And we're going to get this out of our threading path now. Comes out easier when you lift up your presser foot lever, everybody. Okay. And there's that one. Next, we are going to put in this one. This is called Spaghetti. It's a 12 weight Egyptian cotton. Beautiful thread. Comes in so many different really yummy colors. 12 weight. Let's see what this looks like. And I do have to run that thread out before I can get any more to go through. I always forget to do that. Imagine that. There we go. Okay. Now we can set her back up and get that red spaghetti thread in there. There we go. And then let's see what this one looks like. Okay. So there's what that one looks like. 12 weight. This particular thread is also good for the Sashiko. And look at this awesome collection of 12 weight threads that we got in the shop. These are all violet craft colors. Designer. There's 8 spools in that package. 200 yards each. It's $35.95 is what we sell them for here in the shop. That's a wonderful, yummy thread. And yes, you can actually use it in your sewing machine to stitch decorative stitches and stuff with also. Really awesome. You can free motion quilt with it. There's so much you can do with it. So let's put in a different one this time. Okay. Snip this. And yes, I broke my looper thread again. I was going too fast. These heavyweight threads, you have to slow down your speed. Guess I should have said that in the beginning, eh? Okay, so We're going to run that thread out. Okay, there's that. Yes, Puffin hears it thundering. He does not like storms. It's okay, Puffy. Come here, Bubby. It's okay. Yes, you're a good Bobos. It's okay. Who's a good dog? Puffin's a good dog. Puffin's going to help me thread my serger. He's here for luck, for support. This is my lower looper. There we go. There we go. Okay. Next, we are going to try, oops, I got one more type of wonder fill I want to try. Let's see here. There's two more actually. This one is called Accent. This is I'll make sure I tell you the right number. This is a 12 weight Rayon, 400 meters. Look at that. This is beautiful stuff, everybody. One of my favorite. This is actually beautiful on your sewing machine. I've done cross stitches, the built-in cross stitches with this thread. It is amazing. It looks like you've hand cross stitched. It's beautiful stuff. Okay, so we're gonna put this one in. Put that through our upper looper. Okay. We are ready to go on that one. And I've got my stitch length. Let's see, it's a 12. I'm going to make sure that's on a 2. I'm going to leave that at its widest cut. That's pretty. There we go. Wonderfill Accent 12 weight Rayon. Right there. That could actually been stuck down to like 1.5. I think it would have looked better. It's all good. This is actually a quilt sandwich. But think if you were doing like rolled hems with it. Wouldn't that be pretty? Or ladder stitches, blanket stitches, all kinds of fun things. So we're going to snip our upper looper thread and run it out. There's all of that. Okay, so next we are going to put in, what do we want in there next? We are going to do a thread, and one more Wonderfill thread. Wonderfill. Heather, you'll appreciate this. They are headquartered in Vancouver, British Columbia. Okay. But that was Wonderfill Accent. Next, this is you may not be able to really see the color of this good on camera, but this is Wonderfill Mirage. What are you doing there? Stop being tangly. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So this is Wonderfill Mirage, and it is a 30 weight Rayon, 800 meters, which means there's 880 yards on one of these. These can also be used for embroidery. Any of these. The heavier stuff like this and this, that could be used for bobbin work on the sewing machine. But I specifically purchased these for serger loopers. Now, the accent and the mirage, those would also be great in the Sashiko machine. Great Sashiko thread. Okay, that one's ready. Now that's thinner, so I'm going to put that one down to 1.5 on my stitch length and see how that goes. There we go. And I can already tell that one actually needs to go down to a 1. I'm actually going to try 0.75. There we go. There's its sweet spot. But this particular Kona thread is black and royal purple. It is beautiful. Probably won't be able to see it on that camera, but we'll see. There it is. Okay. Yummy threads. Okay. Next, we're going to go to another really cool thread. Let me cut my upper looper. Okay. And I'm going to put in a Madeira thread this time. Let's see here. But I have a quilt. I'm going to free motion quilt with this thread I just took out. This black and purple thread. This here, this 30 weight Mirage. You probably can't tell on camera, but this is just, this looks like beautiful, it's a jewel tone color and it's just gorgeous. It has a beautiful sheen to it. It's yummy. Okay. So next, I'm going to try this. This is 30 weight Katona by Madeira. And these spools have 200 meters, which is 220 yards. It's a 30 weight. So it's got some weight to it. We're going to put that in our upper looper. This is a recommended thread for the machine. You can do embroidery with it. All kinds of fun stuff. Okay. Right there. I love the Katona thread by Madeira. I did use Aurifil a lot, still do sometimes, but this is my go-to thread for piecing and stuff as well. Let's get that on. Got to make sure I get it just in the right spot. There we go. Thought I had it. Let me try it again. Oh, that was in the way. Let's see what it is. Come here, you. Get over there. There you go. Okay. My fingers are not wanting to work good tonight. Oh, I see the problem. I have a thread in front of my threading port. That's what it is. Actually, what it is, that is supposed to be my... That's supposed to go in the upper looper. No wonder it wouldn't thread. I already had a thread in there. Oh my gosh, everybody, I need more coffee. Okay. There we go. There we go. That when you thread the correct port, it threads pretty darn easily. Okay, so let's see what this one looks like. And I'm gonna do this one right along this edge right here. Down. And I have this on 0.75, my stitch length. And that's all I'm going to do on that. I think I need to put a new needle in. I think. And I'll experiment with that a little bit later. But there's that one. Made a nice, beautiful, that's really lovely. Okay. And I have one more for tonight. This is by Superior, and this is Ricky Tim's Razzle Dazzle. And that's an 8 weight. And this is called Ruby Red. Okay, we're going to try that one next. And let's see here. That. There we go. And then we'll take out that Madeira 30 weight. Okay. We're going to put in the Razzle Dazzle. We're going to let it play in our machine. Okay. But first, I'm going to redo my lower looper. Okay. Okay, lower looper is next. There's the lower looper. It played nice with us. And now this one I'm fairly certain will require a threading cradle, but we'll just give it a go and see how nice it wants to play tonight. I'm going to trim the ends of that really good. There we go. The way it's fraying, I guarantee you it will not go all the way through. And since I said that, it'll probably make a fibber out of it. No. So, threading cradle. Oh, come on, you. You don't want, let's get a different one here, one that's easier to see. There we go. Try to get those two ends fairly even. That way it'll run through the system easier to thread. There we go. Okay. On this one, I might even have to use the bypass threader for that particular heavy metallic. We'll see. Oh, come on, you. Okay. And let's see how this wants to play. Get it through the end of that loop. Right there. It's not liking that. Oh, I see. I got it caught up here. There we go. Okay. Now we should be good to go. Okay. And back to serging. Get one of these pieces I've already done down here. And now this is Ricky Tim's Razzle Dazzle 8-weight by Superior Threads. And we're going to put that one up to a 2 before we even start. And that is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thread. Check that out right there. So there you go. That's Ricky Tim's Razzle Dazzle. This is Wonderfill Dazzle. My two favorites. But I like sparkly things, so there you go. On the back, it's just plain serger thread. But on the front is the beautiful, beautiful embellishing threads. Okay.